starting?
You start the show. You open the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Coaches podcast with me, the coach, and Matt Clark Fit.
Come on. We know it's not a joke, Emma.
This is
Be
Matt.
serious.
This is Emma. That's Nigel.
We still
and
don't
we are
know.
here for the podcast.
We
Hello.
still don't know who Matt is, but
Neither
Emma's
do I.
trying to turn it into a joke, which gets my suspicions running high. Anyway. Hi, Emma.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Very well. Right, let's crack on. How was your shoot on the weekend?
My shoot was really good, actually. It was a really, really good day. I mean, all my clients were quite nervous. Like, we had a group chat and they were all like, oh, I'm really nervous. But I was really nervous. And I don't know why. I wasn't nervous, like, for them. I was just nervous because
A lot of
it
you,
was
though.
like a big group of girls getting together. It's kind of, I'd done a shoot before, but it was only for 3 people. So it was almost, I don't know, it felt like I was almost like hosting something. And I just felt a little bit nervous.
Really, it was a lot of gal.
Yeah, so we had 8 ladies who came down and did the shoot. Yeah, we had a group chat and they were all very excited before. They all kind of got to know each other through the group chat. So it was nice for them to finally meet in person.
Yeah, that's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, it was just an incredible day, like so much more than I thought it was going to be. They were so supportive of each other, like whilst each one was getting pictures, they were all sort of like hyping each other up and saying, oh my God, you look amazing and stuff like that. So there was just a lot of like support and like female empowerment, which was really nice, and a lot of emotion as well. A lot of girls
Few
just
tears?
kind of, loads of tears. I was crying, they were crying. Just looking back at the pictures and just realising how far they've come and how all their hard work has kind of turned out, and they just feel amazing and confident. And yeah, I think they all doubted themselves. They kind of saw that I did the shoot and they were like, oh, there's no way I can do that. And then once they actually did it and saw the pictures, they were like, wow, I actually did that.
I guess you never know, do you, until everyone's so critical of themselves.
Yeah.
Like, even not, don't want to take the line off you, but I've even got a couple of the guys that are like, I don't know if I'm ready. And I'm like, mate, like, you look at them and you think, you're so shredded.
Yeah.
But people just don't until they see the pictures.
But that's the thing. Like, I had the same. I had, girls saying, I don't think I'm ready. I don't feel like I'm in a good place. And then once they're in that studio having their pictures taken, it's almost like all their insecurities and worries and doubts go out the window, because they're in front of that camera. They've had their makeup done, their hair done, they're in their outfits, and they just forget about everything they were worried about and just enjoy in the moment.
I hope when you say worried.
Sorry. And then we did some underwear pictures. And again, a lot of the girls were like, I'm not going to do underwear, or I'm not too sure about doing it. So I was like, bring it anyway, because you'll probably get there and want to do it. And I didn't want anyone to regret not doing it. Every single one ended up doing the underwear.
That's cool.
Every single one of them ended up absolutely loving it. And I think that was the highlight of the shoot for majority of the girls, because yeah, it's just something that they would never have done before, never imagined themselves doing. And yeah, just kind of brought out a person in them that was hiding, bit like when I did mine, didn't I?
Yeah.
You was watching me in my underwear posing
Mate,
around like, sorry, who is that?
You put on a show, mate.
You have to. But
yeah, you put on a show.
Yeah, it was amazing. And Ben was amazing, the photographer. He was really good, really helped the girls just feel really comfortable and believe in themselves a little bit. Nathan was there, took some great pictures.
He got some really good pictures, didn't he?
Yeah, just captured such special moments that even my clients were like, I just love this picture so much.
Yeah, we were just talking. Like, obviously the main pictures, what you're there for, are great, but the behind the scene pictures are almost better because they tell more of a story of the day.
They were just like,
quite excited to see the video that he puts together for you.
Yeah.
That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, he's going to put a bit, he was taking some little video clips of it.
Oh, that's...
But yeah, I don't know. I just came home, didn't I? And I was like, I just feel a bit emotionally overwhelmed.
Drained.
It was just like, there was just so much. Oh, I can't, it gives me the shivers thinking about it. It was just amazing. No, I'm not. I don't cry.
No tears. You don't cry.
But you've got yours this weekend, haven't you?
Yeah. Got mine on Saturday. Just loads of blokes. Loads of blokes getting their kit off.
Loads of blokes.
Loads of blokes getting their kit off. No girls this week. Just 5 guys. Yeah.
Oh, Nathan.
All getting their kit
It's
off.
not going to be very fun, is it?
Yeah, just five blokes for Nathan to look at and watch me put oil on them and that. So yeah, we'll be good, man. I'm quite excited because they've all, again, like your girl's been on a journey of like a 16 week journey or so, ready to kind of some longer.
Yeah.
And yeah, got some different characters in there. Some that I definitely would not have expected to do it. And now they're doing it.
That's the best thing, isn't it? There's just like so many different people with so many different whys and reasons and goals and struggles. Like I had mums, I had, you know, people who had lost a lot of weight. I had people who had put on weight, people who had built lots of muscle. Yeah, it's just so many different reasons as to why that day is so special to them.
Yeah.
Which I just think is really nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. And all the messages you got and stuff were quite nice, weren't
Oh
they?
yeah, such nice messages.
Yeah, it's like what did you say to me? You were sitting on the table and I think you were having a bit of a moment and you were saying that the day to day you don't realise the impact that you actually have as a coach on someone's life.
Yeah.
Until you do something like that.
Yeah.
And someone kind of opens up and tells you everything and then you realise you actually do have a massive impact.
Yeah, I mean, that day was like life-changing for my clients, but it was life-changing for me as well because like you said, you feel like you're helping people all the time, but actually seeing them in person get emotional over how they look and how proud of them that they are. I'm actually getting emotional. It just makes it feel so much more real and it just makes you realise what an impact you're having on people.
Yeah. Yeah, massive impact. Like them girls probably come out of their kind of almost different people.
Yeah.
In aspects of like confident and being happy in their own skin and stuff, they realise that they are actually incredible Gaudem. So yeah, well done, Emma. You've done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Right, so today's topic is what someone messaged about it last week or the week
Yeah,
before?
we had a question or something or a suggestion about it.
We decided to kind of do a bit of a talk about it. I feel like it's actually quite valuable because any coach will go through this, and it is actually kind of talking about weight and the scales, because as humans growing up, you are kind of programmed that number that scale says kind of defines you. So yeah, let's talk about it and more so talk about the movement of the scales. So yeah. I
mean, it's a common problem that we face pretty much every day as online coaches, isn't it? With clients and just generally people worrying about them, stressing over them, focusing on them, you know, asking why has my weight not changed? Why has it gone up? Why has it gone down? It's just, yeah.
It's just a program. People are just programmed to think that way. And it's our jobs as coaches to, any coach or a good coach, it's your job to educate people as to why we take that as a metric, why they shouldn't get stressed about the scales, why your body does this. And the more someone learns about their body and understands the scales, that's when someone really starts to accelerate on their journey because they're not stressed or getting fed up or kind of moping around because the scales, they know why the scales has gone up. So yeah, like I had a client, I'm not going to name drop. She should have known better, but she had a moment, which is very unlike her, and she ticked the boxes all week. Last week, dropped like 1.5 kilos or something last week.
Wow.
And same again this week or last week. So the week before she dropped that, and then this week did exactly the same. Even went above and beyond. Obviously got a bit excited. The weight's dropped. She's looking better, and by the end of the week, her weight had gone up a kilo. Obviously, it decided to go up a kilo on check-in day. So she kind of was a bit like, felt deflated. And for her, I didn't really need to educate her because I already had. It was more of a telling off for her for getting deflated, which she then did reply going, I knew exactly what was coming. But it just shows that you can tick all the boxes you want and you can do everything to the actual book, but your weight isn't always going to go down.
Because we're not in control of it.
You're not in control of it. Your body fluctuates up and down. Like the trend line will go down.
Mm-hmm.
And
or up.
Or
depending
up,
on what you're
depending
doing.
on what you're doing. And I mean, if the trend line was going up when you was aiming to go down, then yes, you got a problem.
Yeah.
But you can't just be like, take one measurement and go, oh, I'm doing everything wrong because the scales have gone up. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we get our clients to weigh in every day so you can see the highs, you can see the lows, and then you build a trend line so you can kind of see where you're going. But yeah, let's talk about reasons for. So if we break it down into someone being on their, say, fat loss journey or whatever, and then we can kind of break it down as to why your scales may have gone up even if you're ticking all the boxes.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about the main one, which is probably the food that you're eating?
Yeah.
Because then everything else kind of drops off of that, doesn't it?
So yeah, as in the food. So yeah, I mean,
so like high salty.
So yeah, if you've got high salty food, you're then gonna retain more sodium. Your sodium levels are going to be higher. When you've got high sodium, you then retain more water. So the sodium will then bind with water, and then going all scientific, you then have water around your cells, which obviously comes from sodium, which then comes from salt. Salt comes from food. So you have a higher salty meal or more salt in your diet throughout the day, you're going to retain more water, which means the scales are going to put you down as being heavier. Now, that doesn't mean you haven't lost body fat. You're just retaining more water. So the scales may go up. It's as simple as that. I don't know the exact. I think for every gram of sodium, it's like 3 grams of water or something. So it's quite a lot of water that comes with sodium when having a higher salted diet. Now, that doesn't mean don't have salt in your diet. I mean, salt is important because you do want to retain some water because you want to have good hydration throughout your body. But yeah, it's just a reason. If you had a higher salty meal.
Yeah, I mean, and we can kind of control that. You kind of look into what you're eating. Obviously, when you have a high salty meal, it's probably 9 times out of 10 going to be a takeaway or something that you haven't cooked yourself because you don't know the contents of what's within it. That. But if you're cooking for yourself at home, obviously, you know, you see some people just like load up their plate with salt, don't they? Just reduce that slightly or don't put so much in your cooking. Have a look at like sauces and stuff like that would contain a high salt amount.
Processed foods can be quite salty as well.
Yeah, so if you find, you know, the beginning of the week, say like on a Monday or a Sunday, you're weighing in a bit heavier, and at the weekend you usually go out for dinner or usually have a takeaway, that's probably why you're going to be weighing in a bit heavier at the beginning of the week, because you've had high salt food that you weren't really in control
water,
of.
By the way. So we're not saying cut all salt out your diet.
No.
Then the scales go down, you can have a fucking party. Because that's not, we're just saying that's a reason why it may go up. But it's not a bad reason.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Just it's calorie deficit, you're in a calorie deficit, you're losing body fat. Simple. But if that calorie deficit contained higher salty foods, you're going to lose body fat, you may retain water. So your weight may be higher, the body fat's down. It is confusing, but it's also pretty simple once you understand that. But yeah, that's just one factor. There's a fair few, isn't there?
Yeah, so one I would talk about is definitely for women, the menstrual cycle. You know, a lot of my clients or just women are like, oh, stupidly weighed myself whilst I was on my period, or when I'm coming on my period and I'm weighing way heavier. Obviously, when we talk about the menstrual cycle, you have to remember every woman is different. Every woman has a different cycle. So, you know, this doesn't relate to every single woman. It's not the same. But it is completely normal to put on 3 to 5 pounds when you're on your period or in the lead up to your period. Like, that is completely normal. So if you see the scales going up in the lead up to your period, on your period, that is completely normal. If you still want to weigh yourself because you understand that and you accept that, do it. If you'd rather just not see it and not weigh yourself, just don't weigh yourself for one day or the couple of days that are there. Now, our periods can obviously have an effect on our weight for many different reasons, mainly because in the lead up to our period, estrogen and progesterone drop, telling our body that it's going to go into menstruation or have a period. Now, these hormones help our body regulate how much water we hold. So when they completely drop, the water that we're retaining is going to go up. So we're going to feel heavier. It's why, you know, we feel a bit swollen, our stomach bloats, our boobs feel a little bit swollen, like, because we are retaining more water. Naturally, we are weighing heavier. Also, when progesterone increases in the lead up to your period, that can kind of affect your digestive system, which can make you feel like constipated and stuff like that, feeling a bit bloated, maybe not releasing what you need to release. So obviously weighing heavier on the scales, because going to the toilet is a big factor, which we'll probably come to later on. So yeah, that, and obviously a decrease in hormones, or, you know, a change in hormones can cause us to be a little bit more gassy, which is why we get bloated and stuff on our period. So yeah, there's just so many different reasons why, and we can't control it. Like, we are completely out of control of that. Obviously, there are still some things we can do, like staying hydrated, eating healthier, and exercising, that can help with those. Oh, that's another thing as well. You know, when you're on your period, you have high cravings, and you're probably going to eat salty foods or high salt foods that are going to make you retain more water and add to the amount of, you know, water that you're already retaining from your period. So
just understanding that, isn't it? I think that's probably one of the things that women understand more than the other things of retaining more weight. I think women know they're probably going to be heavier during their period, but like you said, it's quite, I didn't know that, so it's quite interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, and remember, obviously, you've got a lot of blood in you when you're in your period, which is going to make you way heavier as well.
We'll also come to that. We might as well talk about that now. In terms of what is weight, everyone's like, I've said this before, your gravitational pull to the earth. So,
all right,
but
Albert
you got to
Einstein.
think. You got to think. This girl. You got to think what your weight is. So you stand on this, like everyone who this is a person. Just, this is John and Sue. They want to lose weight. So what do you want to do? I want to lose weight. I want to tone up. Okay, so you want to lose body fat. Yeah. You want to lose the body fat, that's the jiggly bits around your body, and you want to kind of firm up a bit. Okay, so you want to lose body fat. You don't. Yes, that's weight's going to come with that, but your goal is you want to lose body fat. So you need to understand that your goal is to lose body fat. Weight is so many different things. Like you said, it's blood, it's water, it's bone, it's muscle, it's body fat. Weight is so much. And like we said before, obviously, if you've got high body fat, then it's a big portion of your body. So when you drop that, your weight is going to go down.
Yeah.
The lower you go down in terms of body fat, the more fluctuations you're probably going to find, the less weight you're going to lose, because obviously there's less body fat and more muscle mass, so more water retention. So just understanding weight and understanding your goal, which is to drop body fat. So don't get too caught up on that scale weight.
Yeah.
Another thing, back to food. I guess carbs, carbohydrates are
no carbs before marbs.
Yeah, so the whole no carbs before marbs thing. I mean, you don't have any carbs, your weight is your water weight is gonna drop, your glycogen is gonna drop. So therefore your muscles are gonna be less full. So you're gonna lose weight.
But then you're also gonna be hella tired,
and you're not gonna have all the nice food. So why you would want to do that, I do not know.
And carbs are the best.
Yeah,
I think carbs are my favourite macronutrient.
There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people's favourite.
Pasta, bread.
Yeah, have it all.
It.
But yeah, I mean, you have a higher carb diet, more glycogen, more water retention. You're just going to be heavier on the scales. Now, you will still be in a deficit if you're in a deficit and you're calculating that. But so your body fat can still drop even if the scales go up. So just be aware. You have a higher carb dinner. You may weigh higher in the morning, but it's not a problem because you know it's not body fat. You know it's most likely just your glycogen stores and water.
Remember, it's scientifically impossible to not be losing body fat if you're in a deficit.
If you're in a big enough deficit,
whether your weight's going up and down, sideways, through the middle,
you're going to be losing body fat.
You're still going to be losing body fat if you're in the deficit.
If you're in a deficit, yeah. So this today is more just educating you to make sure that you don't give up when
You
the
see
scales go up
Mm.
and you're ticking all the boxes. That's kind of what we want to get into people's heads.
Yeah.
And then give you an understanding of the reasons why. And these reasons are going to happen. You can't just prevent all these. That's also pointless. If you you can't not have a period if you're a woman. I guess there's ways of you have a pill and that you don't have periods, do you?
Well, it's like a fake period.
Yeah, so
That's
you
why
can't.
everyone's different.
We're not saying don't eat carbs. We're not saying don't have any salt. We're not saying don't drink water. Yes, all them things are going to make you lose weight. I mean, go jump on the scales. You weigh 80 kilos. Go for a piss and a shit. Jump back on the scales. You're 78. Voila.
Yeah, so
Look at that.
if you're
Just lost weight.
voila. But say if like you're having a bit of, gut problems or you're a bit constipated or whatever and you're weighing heavier on the scales, it's because you're not getting it out.
Getting it out. There you
So
go.
again, think about if you've gone up on the scales, how have my bowel movements been recently?
Get that fibre. What else are we going to say? Yeah,
Laxative.
Laxative. And if we're talking about carbs, training.
Exercise, yeah.
So especially if you're weight training and you're breaking down your muscles, and then obviously cause inflammation, which will then again what's the fucking word? Retain more fluids. So it's not like, as well as that, obviously building muscle, I guess. Obviously it's a much slower process, but if you're weight training, you're building muscle and you're retaining more water from breaking down, you may be heavier.
Yeah.
But just because you're heavier doesn't mean that you're not progressing in terms of your body composition and getting into shape. So
yeah, I think I've got a client or a ex-client who came to me at a certain weight. Obviously, wasn't lean, wasn't where she wanted to be. We did a bit of a diet and then we did a bit of a reverse diet and she got like super muscly, super lean, hardly any body fat, but she literally weighed the same as when she started, but her body looked completely different. So that just shows it actually doesn't matter what it says on the scales, and she didn't care because she was like, yeah, I weigh the same as where I started, but I look completely different because there's different things or there's more things that are factoring into my weight now, not just.
So she changed her body composition, but she just, and that's like obviously 5 kilos of fat is like that, and 5 kilos of muscle
it makes me feel really sick when people get that.
It's more. I was going to order one. I might actually order one so we can show people. But you can order 5 kilos of fat and 5 kilos of muscle, which is a better way to show people that obviously muscle's a lot more dense. So I mean, they weigh the same, they look different. It's like a kilo of marbles and a kilo of feathers. A kilo of feathers is going to be a fucking massive pile. Kilo of marbles is going to be small, but it's exactly the same weight.
Also, remember the way that you're like built as well. Like if you're quite tall, you're going to naturally weigh heavier. Yeah. Like your structure.
That's another thing taking to weight. Your bone and your structure of your body more dense.
So don't be like, oh, I'd ideally like to be this weight, because that weight to you could be completely different to that weight to someone else.
It should always be, I want to look and feel like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, we use weight as a way to work out certain things, metabolic rate, and making sure it's kind of a metric to follow. But you as a person, you want to be chasing how you feel and how you look and how clothes fit.
Yeah.
Not what the scales say, because the scales might say one thing, but if you're not happy, like no one's looking at the scales. Everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
That size 10 dress doesn't give a shit what that scale says. Do you know what I mean? You want to fit into that. So so there you go. Don't worry about the scales. Don't stress.
Don't stress
about the scales.
Hope you found that helpful.
Yeah. There was another thing I can't remember. Oh yeah. Obviously, like when you weigh yourself as well, like every day, obviously it can be the food in your belly at the time. That's another thing. When you're stressed.
Yeah, when you're stressed, you can get bloated and stuff like that.
Retain and come across heavier. So there's many, many, many reasons why we are heavier on the scales. Obviously, you go out at the weekend, go out drinking and eating. There you go. You might be heavier on a Monday. Yeah. I have a client who weighs in all the time, and you look at his graph, and he loves going out on the weekend. And every Monday is his spike, and then he goes down. Spike, and he goes down. Over time, we're going down, but there's always a weekend spike.
Yeah, I've had a client like that as well. people that are quite socially active.
Yeah. Sometimes you drop. I mean, alcohol dehydrates you. So you go on the piss and wake up and... You ever have that? Like when you're reasonably lean, if you go out on the piss and have a real big drink up, not maybe a massive eating thing, but you go on the piss, you wake up, you look in the mirror and you're like,
yeah,
Jesus, I've got abs. I'm going to keep drinking.
Yeah.
You're just dehydrated.
Yeah,
it's not good for you.
Need to drink some water.
So there you go. You can drink and lose weight. Does that mean it's good for you? No. You just literally lost a load of water because you're dehydrated. So that's it. That's what you just need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to watch this now, aren't they? And be like, fuck this, I'm going to start drinking.
Yeah. That's how I lose my weight.
Also see that's what people do on... I remember when I did a show.
We should talk about that one episode.
Yeah, maybe. It's not really
I think we should.
Did a show, and then everyone was bang on the wine and stuff. I'm like, what's going on here? Obviously, I just kind of started my PT journey and that, and everyone was bang on the wine. And because it was like the night before people were bang on the wine, sorry. And just because of the dehydration factor, because it dehydrates you, so then obviously you look more leaner. So there you go. Anyway, what's the time? Oh, that was good timing, wasn't it? You all right, Emma?
I'm all right.
Why are you smiling?
Oh, I'm just looking at you.
Yeah.
You're just great.
Yeah. What are you planning for the weekend anyway, Gil?
What are my plans for the weekend? Oh, you got your shoot, so I'm on max duty, aren't I?
Yeah.
Going for dinner in the evening.
Oh, you're out, aren't you?
It's not out. We're just going to a pub for dinner.
Gambly.
Yeah. And then Sunday, you're playing golf.
Golf
and
day.
Going out.
Golf day.
Golf day.
Well, it's not a golf day. We've got quite a few people playing.
Nice.
Yeah. Producer Nath beat me on... When was it? When did we play?
Sunday.
Yeah. Producer Nath hasn't played for 15 months and then he beat me. So, yeah.
Light work.
That wasn't too fun.
It's a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, it was a bit embarrassing. I mean, we
Considering
both
you went to the
we both played
driving range.
shit, but he hadn't played for 15 months, so do you know what I mean? His shit was actually not that shit. So yeah, golf on Sunday. The weather looks beautiful. Tee off at 8. Back to the clubhouse at 12. Hopefully have some good barbecue food. Couple of beers. And yeah.
And he'll be ringing me, Emma, go bit me up.
Catch a bit of sun.
Don't get burnt. Can you put some sun cream on, please?
Yeah.
I'm going to put some on before you leave.
Sorry, Mum.
Yeah, Michelle would be well proud.
Yeah, she would. Anyway, on that note, I hope you found that useful.
Yes. Any questions, please always feel free to slide into our DMs.
Yeah, slide in.
Slide on
But yeah,
in.
moral of the story, just don't get too caught up about the scales. Obviously, it's a fact. It's something, a metric you want to count over time, but think of a trend line. And also just think there's many reasons for your weight to go up, but you want to lose body fat. By the way, we're talking about people losing body fat here, so that's the goal.
And there's so much more to fat loss journeys than whatever's on the scales.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not just all physical, it's mental.
And it's all about how you look and how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
Thank you for watching, everyone. Please follow us. You got to wait for me to do my little ending. Please follow us on social media at _ a couple of coaches, at Mike Clark Fit, at M _ the coach. I feel like I've been a bit serious this podcast, so I'm just trying to bring in some bants at the end.
Yeah, I mean, people are probably not watching anyway.
At NJM Flicks, who is currently playing with his shorts. And you can follow our little dog, Cocker Max, if you want.
Max.
You know, he's cute. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.
Cheers, Emily.
Ta-ra.
All right.